This is Luke Paulson, the Catholic Conservative, and welcome to the news of the week for October 30th, 2024. And if you enjoy these videos, do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more. Will the sale be made? The collapse of MSDNC in terms of ratings should come as no surprise. The network abandoned any pretense of delivering real news long ago, choosing instead to focus almost entirely on relentless Trump bashing. The final nail in the coffin came when the hosts of Morning Joe shocked their audience by doing the unthinkable. They interviewed President Trump at Mar-a-Lago for a network that has built its identity on opposing him. This move alienated their remaining viewers and sealed their fate. Now the network is up for sale. The possibility of Elon Musk buying it has even been floated, sparking widespread speculation. When asked about the idea, Musk quipped, "How much is it?" The same response he gave before buying Twitter. Given Musk's track record, it is not hard to imagine him transforming the network into a hub for real journalism. Of course, many of the current MSDNC staff would likely rage quit if Musk were to take over.
Hey, so long, see you sucker, bon voyage, arrivederci, later loser, goodbye, good riddance, peace out, let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you, don't come back round here no more, hasta la vista, kick rocks, and get the hell out.
However, there is no shortage of independent journalists, eager to step into their shoes and offer fresh perspectives. This development also comes amidst increasing distrust of Fox News, which was shown to be controlled opposition ever since the firing of Tucker Carlson. It is time for real journalism to rise again. Whether or not Musk ultimately makes the purchase, the shakeup signals a much-needed shift in the media landscape. While one fake news network may be going away, someone from the real news may be freedom's greatest ally. A new press secretary. Joe Rogan has shown interest in becoming President Trump's press secretary. As of the recording of this video, there is no official confirmation, but the prospect alone is generating buzz. Rogan's no-nonsense approach and ability to call out the fake news makes him a strong contender. His unparalleled skill in holding long, engaging conversations, often lasting hours, aligns perfectly with the demands of the role. Candace Owens has even stepped up to say she would personally fund his salary if he takes the position. The big question remains, will Joe Rogan officially step into the role?
Only Poppins would know.
Let us see how this unfolds. While a press secretary does not have to be confirmed by the Senate, the Attorney General does. A new Attorney General. Not so Sunny Hostin from The View read an on-air disclaimer about Matt Gaetz, explicitly noting that the Department of Justice lacked evidence for a case against him. Despite the official stance, the damage was already done, ensuring that Matt Gaetz would not become President Trump's Attorney General. This setback forced President Trump to make a swift new nomination. He selected Pam Bondi, the former Attorney General of Florida, known for her tough stance on immigration. While the charges against Gaetz were trumped up, no pun intended, the main criticism by the fake news of Bondi centers on her extensive experience. Her greatest strength is in her proven track record of deporting illegals from Florida. This expertise makes her the ideal candidate to assist Tom Homan in the upcoming mass deportation efforts. Remember when mass deportations under Obama, the so-called deporter-in-chief, were not labeled as racist?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Regardless of the controversy, Pam Bondi faces a significant amount of work if she is confirmed for the position. Meanwhile, it is crucial that we ensure rhinos support her nomination. Unfortunately, not all of them can be trusted. And with Republicans holding only a slim majority, securing the necessary backing is a challenge. While Matt Gaetz may not have been able to survive the onslaught, President Trump keeps getting stronger. The Teflon Don strikes again. The judge has dismissed the election interference charges against President Trump, reinforcing his nickname as the Teflon Don. Critics of the charges have long pointed out the lack of concrete evidence supporting them, claiming the cases were politically motivated from the start. The double standard between President Trump and Brandon only fueled these sentiments. While classified documents from Brandon's time as vice president were found in his Penn State office and even in his garage, President Trump's securely stored documents became a national scandal. On the subject of the mostly peaceful protest of January 6th, it is worth noting that President Trump explicitly told his supporters to, quote, peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Close quotes. Footage presented by outlets like Sky News Australia and commentators such as Stephen Crowder showed Capitol Police allowing protesters inside, further muddying the narrative. Despite the endless legal and media battles, President Trump's support base appears unshaken. With each challenge, he seems to emerge stronger, galvanizing his movement to make America great again. While President Trump stands for truth and honesty, none of his opponents in the presidential campaigns have. Money to Ukraine or Democrats? A Polish rumor circulating online suggests that American aid to Ukraine is directly financing Democratic election campaigns. Officially, no evidence supports this claim. But the lack of transparency in handling billions in aid has fueled speculation. Critics point out that oversight of investigating any corruption largely falls under the Democratic-led administration, raising questions among skeptics. What is known is that a significant portion of American aid to Ukraine is not directed toward the war effort. Reports have highlighted funds allocated to support politically connected individuals or groups in Ukraine, which has a long history of corruption. Even figures like Bill Gates have commented on this, believing that after the war, Ukraine will magically become trustworthy. Concerns about Ukraine's corruption date back to Joe Biden's infamous pressure to have a Ukrainian prosecutor fired by threatening to withhold Obama-era aid. Critics see a pattern of American aid being used as leverage or misappropriated in murky circumstances. Additionally, some argue that the conflict could have been avoided entirely. They point to NATO's involvement in Ukraine as a provocation, suggesting that without it, Russia might have refrained from military action. This perspective frames American intervention and military aid as exasperating rather than resolving the situation. In truth, both Democrats and rhinos alike love war and death. And nowhere is this more obvious than with the poorly named Planned Parenthood. Medal of Freedom for a killer. Cecil Richards, the former head of Planned Parenthood, the largest abortion mill in the United States, has been awarded the Medal of Freedom by Brandon, a self-proclaimed Catholic. This decision has sparked outrage since she is emblematic of an organization responsible for countless deaths. This is a celebration of policies and practices that are profoundly immoral. This award is meaningless if it went to such a person. And for normal people, this represents a troubling precedent, awarding the highest civilian honor to someone associated with absolute evil. Now, while abortion mills need a lot of light to shine on them, they need the light as well. Moving on, our next story is on OMG. OMG Investigates NIH. An OMG reporter secured a revealing conversation with an NIH employee through a so-called honeypot operation. This individual confirmed what many had suspected about the China virus vaccines. He admitted that the vaccine, despite being mandatory, did nothing to stop the virus. Additionally, he revealed that he avoids taking them and will not take any boosters, citing as of yet unknown long-term side effects in addition to the myocarditis risk. The NIH employee also revealed that when people submitted FOIA requests to learn the truth about vaccine or China virus data, the NIH actually manipulated records. They intentionally misspelled words to prevent relevant documents from being found, effectively keeping the public in the dark. If true, this deliberate smokescreen could be a prosecutable offense. However, part of the blame lies with Operation Warp Speed. This initiative allowed pharmaceutical companies to bypass typical regulatory processes in the push to develop the vaccines, which would not be a problem, except for the fact that these companies are shielded from lawsuits. This created an environment ripe for issues we now face with the vaccine rollout. Speaking of court cases, other big corporations are afraid of being brought to court over their systemic anti-whiteism. DEI is dying. Walmart has joined a growing list of major companies including Lowe's, Toyota, Ford, Harley-Davidson, John Deere, Tractor Supply, and Molson Coors in eliminating diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Aptly named, didn't earn it. This marks a shift away from prioritizing hiring employees and choosing suppliers based on gender orientation or melanin. What is the reason? It could be perhaps that these companies may have felt public pressure and backlash against perceived tokenism or divisive politics. It could be that these companies may have noticed financial losses linked to consumer boycotts or disengagement. But I think the most likely reason of all is that lawsuits highlighted the legal risk of DEI practices. These developments mean that employees and suppliers can no longer be penalized for lacking diversity credentials. They also will not have to suffer through mandatory DEI workshops. It also signals a broader cultural shift that aligns with President Trump's ongoing work as a result of his election to the presidency. In short, the tide appears to be turning. And this is a significant win in the culture war. Now, I said that I wanted to start ending these videos with good news, and although that last story was good news, there is something even better. Sealing the border with a phone call. Claudia Sheinbaum, the newly elected president of Mexico, recently had a pivotal phone call with President Trump. During the conversation, President Trump laid out a bold proposal: a 25% tariff on all goods from Mexico if border crossings are not stopped. For example, a $100 product would now be $125, and a $20,000 car would skyrocket to $80,000. This strategy directly addresses the gridlock in Washington, where Democrats have consistently opposed President Trump's border wall initiative to secure more voters by browning small towns. Sheinbaum reportedly agreed to the tariff threat, signaling a willingness to cooperate on this issue. Additionally, President Trump announced a 10% tariff on Chinese goods, unless the flood of fentanyl into the United States is halted. President Trump is not even officially in office yet, but he is already taking actions that align with his promise to make America great again. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that is just my opinion. And do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more. But before you go, on the left I have last week's video, but you may also enjoy the video on the right.